Welcome, everybody. It is Lunes Live with the Compas. We appreciate you guys so much for jumping on. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That's Gilbert Manzano. What's up, bro?
What's up, Fernando? I'm forgetting. Do I ask an engagement question, or we're just gonna go right into what we saw in Brooklyn, New York? Compas on the East Coast, back on the West Coast.
That's Tuesday, bro. Today's
Okay.
Lunes Live. We go with
All right, then
what we saw.
we'll ask him the question eventually. But yes, we were in Brooklyn, Fernando, and it was cool to be on the East Coast. And I won't start this show by complaining, Fernando. Well, I guess I will, but let me set the tone because I have never covered a boxing event past midnight. That's what happened in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. And you could maybe confirm or deny it, but I think your boy was complaining a whole lot about how long the show was dragging. Let me know in the comments if the event, dragged for you at home because it was still what 9 p.m., 9:15 when
Yeah.
the main event got started. But man, it made it so much better. A midnight fight, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, a couple knockdowns, supposed to be knockout in the seventh round, a meddling referee. It was beautiful, and that's why I love boxing. But man, does it frustrate me, Fernando.
No, and you know what? I'll ask the engagement question
Oh, okay.
of the
All right.
day. What did you guys make of Ryan Garcia's victory? Is he back at being King Rye? Is it? I don't know. What did you guys make of it? And who should he fight next? I've gotten texts, Gilbert. Some people have told me Boots. Some other people have told me. Some people have told me a rematch with Tank Davis. The one that I don't hear a lot of, I heard it from the people on DAZN. It was go back and fight Devin Haney again at a normal weight. But I'm like, nothing's gonna change. Even if Ryan was probably 3 pounds less, I still think he does that to him. But what did you guys make, and who should he fight next of that fight? Look, Nancy's here. Nancy, we haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
Hey, how's it going?
Nancy at 12. Oh, you know what? Let's real quick. Right now at 12:10, we will be joined by our compa Emmanuel
Morgan.
Morgan. Thank you. Emmanuel Morgan from the New York Times. He was at the fight with us. We're gonna break it all down. And at 12:30, folks, our compa Tyler Dragon from the USA Today will be jumping on with us to talk all things NFL draft. So make sure you guys tune in. We're talking draft, we're talking boxing, we do it all. So yeah, Jorge, we're sorry. We did change the normal time. Gilbert has a previous engagement that he has to go to. But
It's my fault, Jorge. You could bash me and call me Michael Pena if you want.
but yeah, we had to change it up a little bit today. Tomorrow to be back at 4:00, and tomorrow we have some special guests also talking draft. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow at 4:00. We have Doug Keed.
We got two. I was gonna say we got two guests on, and then two guests today, and then tomorrow, right? It sounds like
we have two guests. Yeah. So we're sorry about the switching up of the times. But tomorrow we're gonna have Doug Keed from the Boston Herald. He's joining us to talk. What are the Patriots gonna do? Are they really gonna jump out or are they gonna stay at 3 and take a quarterback? Gilbert, who is our other guest tomorrow?
Yeah, Sam Fortier from the Washington Post, and Sam used to cover the Chargers, I want to say in 2018. I think I got that right. Yeah, it was my first year on the beat. And Sam now covers the Commanders. So he said, he said most likely, kind of gave me a maybe, but I'm going to put Sam on the spot. So we'll get Doug and Sam to talk draft, Commanders, Patriots. Obviously, we're going to cover what the local teams do, the Chargers and the Rams. And we're going to give you more Chargers and Rams content about a half an hour when Tyler Dragon comes on. But we got to cover. We got the national point of view with Tyler, with the local point of view with Sam and Doug. And I like that we got those two guests on for now because they're going to break down the top 3 or the top 4 of the draft. And then the Chargers pick at number 5. So very enticing week. But we're going to talk boxing for the first half of this show.
Exactly. Jorge says, hell yeah, draft week. You ain't got to apologize. Yeah, so make sure you guys are tuned in right now. We'll talk a little Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. And then at 12:30, we are having Tyler Dragon on. So make sure you guys tune into that. Nancy thinks that Ryan Garcia needs major improvement, hits soft. He's soft or hit soft. Sorry.
I'm gonna Nancy. He knocked the guy down like 3, 4, 5 times. He hit soft. Maybe Devin Haney's a soft one. I don't know. Keith Thurman called them pillow hands, and I thought that was funny, but also kind of mean. But yeah, Ryan Garcia got a punch, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Nancy. He does need improvement. I thought his footwork was a little better, but still a little awkward, and he needs to work on the cardio. But he was patient this time. I like the patience that he had.
She said, "I think Ryan Garcia got off easy. To be honest, the guy was soft and didn't hit hard. I
And
think."
yeah, Devin Haney has soft. Yeah, okay. I feel bad for calling Devin Haney, but he just lacks power for now. I remember I laughed at that one point. It might have been like maybe the middle of the round when Devin was getting the groove, and he kept punching the body at Ryan Garcia like 4 row.
Oh yeah, when he was in the corner.
What is that? What is it? Like if you get rocked in the body like that, you're gonna feel the damage. And Ryan Garcia didn't even hesitate. So yeah,
and you can tell his trainer. Oh my god, I forgot his name.
Derek James.
Derek James. You could tell his trainer really worked on him with things. There was a point, Gilbert. I saw this on I think DAZN's Twitter. We can't use that kind of stuff. If not, we'll get flagged.
We have a lot of content on our channel where you want to use it. I won't give you the
exactly.
So check out the YouTube channel because we have plenty of content from Brooklyn. We were there.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you guys tune into that. But Gilbert, there was but the reason why I was pointing that video out was because there was a video where right around the 6th or 7th round, I was going to say inning, Ryan turns and says something to somebody in the crowd, and Derek James grabs him, throws him into the corner, and says, "Stop, focus, like get in this. We cannot get distracted." So I completely kudos to Derek James for everything that he's done. But the thing that left me frustrated, Gilbert, honestly, is the press conference. The first question, Ryan talks about, "Hey, I was still drinking. I was still going out. I went out this whole week leading up to the fight." And I'm like, dude, like, can you imagine if you didn't do all that? Can you imagine if you actually put the work in, you busted your ass and you stop with all those antics? Like, dude, you could probably be one of the better pound for pound fighters in the world if you actually concentrated and stopped doing that.
Yeah, Fernando, I'm with you. And at first I thought he was maybe still trying to troll us, but then he got deep about what's going on in his life. Like if you really knew what I was going through, the divorce, depression, the mental games. And sometimes I feel like, well, you kind of added to yourself. How about you just disappear from social media? I get Ryan, you got to sell a fight, and we all appreciate that because you got people into it. You carry the whole promotional, but you got to find a balance where you got to work on yourself. And you're right, Fernando, because not many expected. I don't even think people who supported Ryan Garcia expected that type of dominance from the first round to really hurt him, and just to be like, he improved with Derek James. There's still a lot of level to it, but he finally is not the hype machine that De La Hoya kept building up. Yeah, he has, or himself on TikTok with the fast hands and all the videos. Now we see the potential. Like, this guy is actually a legit. It might get to a point, Fernando, he might be in a top 10 pound for pound list at number 9 or 10. And on that note, stop forgetting about Tank Davis. For some reason, Tank Davis does not get top 10 pound for pound. And Devin Haney got all the love. He got all the credit. He was top 5 among people's rankings. What the hell do we know, apparently? So, yes, Ryan Garcia has to train, and be 100%. But, man, that was so impressive. And I can ask you the question right there, Fernando, because I was surprised. I did not see that coming. I knew about the fast hands. I knew about the power. But the patience, the timing, and just having that rock hard of a hand. I know Haney has, kind of a suspect chin, and we all found out about it. But were you surprised by the performance? Because that was just pure dominance.
De La Hoya's tripping, saying Garcia is the face of boxing. He's got to hype up his guy. I'll tell you one thing, Gilbert, and I remember somebody, I can't remember who said this. If Munguia beats Canelo, which I don't think it'll happen, but Golden Boy is now in Ryan winning his big fight and then Munguia pulling that off. I mean, I know obviously it's a big what if, but yeah, Gilbert, I was surprised, even though, it's funny.
Vic did not call a knockout, but I guess we did call a split decision, though. I did give him credit. Dan and Dago actually did call a knockout, but who did we give credit more, Victor or Dan? And you can pull up the comment here because Victor called a split decision and Dan called a knockout, but it wasn't a knockout. He got robbed by a knockout, and then there was a majority decision. So you know what? I'll give Victor and Dan the credit. Now I think about it. Good calls, guys, and we got it wrong. Unanimous decision.
Dan wasn't happy with the referee either. He said that the referee
Yeah, got
robbed
robbed
him.
from a pick. He got robbed.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what's funny, Gilbert, is that in the first round, um, right away in the first round, he really got on. Like he, and that's what Devin had said all week leading up to it. He's like, look, I think he's gonna come in. I think he's gonna rush me, and I'm gonna need to be all over him, or I'm gonna need to be ready for that. He wasn't ready for that. Ryan really got on him, and he was on him from the start. Second, third, fourth round, Ryan kind of cooled off a little bit, and that's where I think they thought you will get him in the second, third, and fourth, and then he'll be too gassed to go the distance. Ryan ended up going the distance. Now I still think he needs some cardio work, but I mean Dan's never happy.
Yeah.
Oh, and you should hear what he has to say this week. But
let me go off of that note before bringing our guy Emmanuel, because we should give Ryan credit for immediately setting the tone with the power. And when you rock somebody and you hurt them, like, you start thinking differently. Remember Mike Tyson? Everybody has a game plan to get hit in the mouth, and he was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's legit." He got stronger from the amateur days. Remember the whole game 7? This time it counts. Whatever.
Yeah.
That set the tone for the fight, and this time it counts. And then, he didn't remember in the Tank Davis fight. The second that Garcia got some kind of ooh from the crowd, he rushed it. He heard the crowd. He wanted to put on a show. No, he kind of timed it. He waited it out, and in a way, the cardio issue might have helped them chill out a bit, like calm down, because those middle rounds he had to kind of regain the stamina, and that's where Devin Haney was getting settled in. And I like that he was clinching at times. Yeah, I hate the whole hugging and stuff, but you can't get picked apart by the technician, the skillful fighter. So you made the fight dirty. You're the bigger fighter. You didn't make weight. I get that. We should not forget that. I did not like that. I'll say that right there. But it was a good game plan by Derek James, and maybe the whole Carter thing helped him chill out. And then when he saw the opportunity in the 7th, he went for it. And after that, Fernando, I don't think cardio was an issue, because 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I want to say maybe he lost one round after that. That was a perfect fight for Ryan, and I was worried for the boxing judge. I told you, Fernando, he needed a knockout. You can't trust the judges. And when I heard the draw, I was like, please don't rob this guy. Don't rob the guy.
Somebody on TV had a draw too, and I was like, what are we doing? But
technically, to their defense, if it wasn't for the point deduction, they would have had 113, 112 Ryan Garcia, but that fight was not that close regardless.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But all right, let's bring it. You know what also threw me off is that I picked Jamal Hill to win because he was a guest on the show. And then this time I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go.
You got in your head for that.
Exactly. Even though Dan told me, no, pick Garcia. He's going to win. I'm like, wow. Garcia bet on himself winning $12 million. But this is another guy that we can bet on. He's our compa. We saw him in New York. He took us out to go eat. It is Emmanuel Morgan from the New York Times. Emmanuel, how are you doing, my guy?
What's up, man? How's the flight back?
Okay. So I get to the air. I didn't sleep. I get to the airport.
You did not.
And it is a cluster. It was just terrible. Like, they have a pre-TSA pre-line. And it was like, what? And so I was fighting with the lady. I'm like, lady, I have to get on my flight. So we go back and forth, and she tells me to get in line. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I get in line, and I'm like, now am I cleared to go? And then she's like, yeah, now you are. I'm like, Jesus. So then I get in the line. I text Gilbert. I'm like, it's a shit show down here. You better get here now. And Gilbert texted me today.
He bought me an extra 15 minutes, Fernando, so I give you credit for that.
Yeah, he's like, it was a complete shit show. There was a lot of people leaving. I don't know why, but there was a lot of people at JFK.
What's better, Emmanuel, JFK or LaGuardia?
LaGuardia is a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, I got that sense immediately. Okay, good thing.
Yeah, LaGuardia is a lot better because it's like more up to date. JFK is like the longer flights, so like that's more popular. But LaGuardia is like a lot more easier to get to.
I did notice a lot of international, like
it's bougie. That's why
JFK.
Yeah,
that's where my boy likes that bougie life. I saw that little fountain thing where the water is like coming down, and like everybody's standing there taking videos and stuff at LaGuardia. So yeah, I can tell where he says it's up to date, it's new. I mean, it's a lot nicer. JFK was just a crap. Oh, and then my bad. Real quick, the family in front of me. Here, honey, have your passport. Show it to the guy. Oh, I'm a big girl. I have my passport. You guys move.
No, do that yourself, parents.
It's 5 a.m. Like, let me get out of here. I want to go back home, and you guys are making me stand here and wait. So yeah, I was not I was not happy with that. But hey, I got on the flight, I got home. That's all that matters. But
Yeah.
but all right, my guy, Emmanuel, what did you make of the whole of the horror deal, the main event? What did you make of Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney?
Ryan fought well, bro. I mean, like that's the first time I saw her fight. So it's like live. So seeing like the left hook, like the power that he has in that punch was kind of crazy. So yeah, he caught him the first round. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the fight. I mean, he gassed a little bit. I mean, Devin like was hitting the body like in the middle rounds and stuff, but towards the end, I mean, Ryan like started beating him up. So yeah, like he fought well. He fought very, very well.
Emmanuel, you were right there, ringside or pretty close. You got better seats than the Compas, man. But one day we'll get up there. How was everybody in that press row there? Were they like all shocked and surprised because Devin was a minus 800 favorite coming to this fight? So were people stunned, or was anybody like, you know what, I saw that coming?
Yeah, no, yeah, we were saying that he's like Ryan's like a good actor because like Ryan kept having us thought that we were like that he was like crazy and stuff. Now he fought well. So yeah, I mean like most discussion like Raider was about the ref. Like the ref was like being like a lot kind of crazy with like the long counts. So like we were talking a lot about that. But yeah, no, Ryan fought well. Yeah, we were impressed.
Let me ask you a quick question, Emmanuel. Obviously right here it says, why is it okay to have a hydration clause and not cool to make weight like Garcia?
I think both of them are not cool, but
yeah, not cool. Yeah, like neither are cool. I mean, I think like the reason that they wanted to make the fight happen for the fans because like everyone already flew to New York. I mean, there was already a big fight, so the undercard wasn't really that good. So like they had like keep that fight going. So yeah, like no matter what, like you miss weight or not, like they had to keep the fight going.
Well, they would have had a pushback from us if that wouldn't happen. But look, I mean, here's a perfect example of what we're talking about right here. This is Ryan Garcia's body for Tank Davis, and I know it's a fight. It's like about here he was at 135, and this one was basically 143. But you could tell there's a clear-cut difference. His body type shouldn't be 135. I mean,
I don't like the editing work on the picture though. I mean, it might have kind of exaggerated a little bit.
Still, yeah, I mean,
well, yeah, but still, I mean, Ryan did look completely different this time around than he did the last time. Like he looked confident going into this fight, and I felt like against Tank, he really didn't feel all that way.
Yeah, because like he had to cut like 5 more pounds basically, and then he had the rehydration clause. So yeah, like everything's like up against him that Tank fight. So I mean, yeah, he missed weight here, but he was still at a higher weight class than it was for Tank fight, and then he had a better like weight cut, so like his body was like more prepared for this fight. So
well, let's go off of that, Emmanuel, because we heard De La Hoya. You were in the press conference room saying he calls the shots now. He's the face of boxing. If Tank Davis wants to fight Ryan Garcia, has to be at a catch weight 143, 144. To me, the fair thing would be, hey, you made Ryan punish himself to go to 135, and then you can't even rehydrate the next day. He did everything you wanted for the fight fans, and they both made a lot of money. But do you think Tank will do it now under his, clauses? Hey, you know what? 143, 144 catch weight. You got to come up. He's a big puncher, but he's not a big dude. You've seen him around. Man, he's a short dude. But to go from lightweight to whatever you want to call it, a junior welterweight catchweight, do you think Tank Davis says, oh, you know what? I'll make the money. I'll kind of make it a fair trade here, 1-1. What do you think?
I don't know. We'll see, right? Like it has to be the like money will be like the biggest factor because like the Mayweather people like they always like, oh, like we call the shots, so we do what we want. So I mean, yeah, like the money is gonna be the main thing because like he's gonna be the one risking like a lot to fight him that way. So if he does it, then there's gonna be like the money will probably be like the biggest factor.
I don't think that photo was that much Photoshop, Jorge. Look, like this is him with Connor the night that day when he fought Tank.
The face looks a little like a regular person. That one looked a little kind of like.
Oh, the face. Okay.
The face.
Well, yeah, but
the
then
model face, the 1990s model.
Well, yeah, but he also took a picture right before where he did look kind of weird before this fight. So yeah, I mean, tomatoes, I guess. What do you think happens next with Ryan?
Probably a rematch, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, that'd probably be a rematch. I think.
I don't need a rematch.
I can see it, Fernando, because they're both with the zone and more money for the companies and the promoters.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Yeah, plus like he didn't make weight, so like this would be for the belt. So yeah.
Well, no, the belt is vacated.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know.
But you're right, man. That's the storyline. Well, what happens if he makes weight at 140? But Ryan said he can't go down to 140 past 143. Why even make the fight? You can't even do it. Will Devin go up? Is that, I guess, for him the only way to get a rematch?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's a rematch. So like, they're two of the biggest names for their weight class. Like everything they do. So, yeah.
I'm with you, Fernando. Like,
what am I supposed? So, like, what am I supposed to get now with this one? I mean, I already heard Bill Haney say everything that he has to say. If he dies, he dies. This and that.
With
and,
what
like,
hands, bro?
What is he gonna? Yeah, what? Like his son is in Ivan Drago, and you know the one thing I've kind of noticed about this whole weekend is, and I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, Gilbert and Emmanuel, you guys can correct me. I think Floyd Mayweather has given everybody a certain image of boxing where people are scared to take L's and they want to be perfect and perfect and perfect and perfect, like Floyd. But nobody's going to end up perfect. I mean, Floyd did, obviously, but I'm saying, like, that's not a real reality. I mean, fighters lost, and even some of the most famous fighters that we talk about, they took L's. So I feel like people shouldn't be scared. I mean, I give Haney credit for taking on this fight with Garcia, even after he didn't make weight. But I feel like people shouldn't think about, like, oh, if I take a loss, like, that's it. Like, I'm going to – no, look at Ryan. Ryan bounced back from the Gervonta fight, and he was able to now put it together and win here. I know it's different scenarios, but I just feel like people kind of look at Floyd and, yeah, they want to emulate him. But at the same time, you have to also think, like, if you take an L, that's not a bad thing. That's a way to go reinvent yourself in a sense and see what you did wrong, pick at whatever you did wrong and try and perfect it. And so I think, yeah, like Jorge said, guys care too much about their record and they don't take the big fights. I mean, Julio Cesar Chavez is a guy that we all know, that we all love growing up as Mexicans, and he took L's. So, I mean, I just feel like and then another thing that I'm pissed off at is I think some of these boxers need to do more. Don't do the whole fight once a year and then fight the next year, like one or maybe two. No, you have to fight at least 2 to 3 times a year, I think, to kind of keep it up. I know COVID obviously kind of stopped a lot of this stuff, but I feel like people need to start doing that and start fighting a lot more and more, not more often, but like at least 2 or 3 times a year, not once. Like that's just a little mini rant. That's
why I like UFC better, because they don't even make you fight. Like they don't make you fight at least like twice a year. I mean, obviously, like the big guys, like give them more leeway, but most times you're gonna fight at least like twice a year.
They got to work on the undercards, man.
Oh my God,
that was a snooze fest for boxing. Like I don't want to butcher the guy's name, but I forget what the foreign guys before the co-main, like with the guys with the eye cut, like that was a good fight. You know, even Scrappy was okay, but that co-main with Barbosa, that was just horrendous. It dragged on. Nobody wanted to see that. We wanted to get to the main event, but
they were booing. Fans
they were
booing,
and that's, you know, honestly, that's when Brooklyn woke up. The crowd at Barclays, you're like, boo, get off of here. Like, you know, let me ask you that question. You know, Emmanuel, like, how do you feel New York is for a boxing town? I kind of felt like it was a little dead for a bit. The main event made up for everything. It was not a sold out crowd. I'm guessing the Barclays holds like 17 to 18,000. I would guess 11, 12K, maybe a little more. But with that fight being in New York, what did you kind of come out leaving from that?
I thought it was cool. I mean, New York don't really get that many boxing fights, so I mean, we get the press conferences, but not the fights. So yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was a cool event to be at. I mean, I in the crowd I saw Sauce Gardner, I saw Saquon. Let's see, and then a few other Giants players. So
they didn't show them on the jumbotron or the screen.
That's what happens when you're in the posh area. I heard a guy vomiting in the bathroom. I saw a dude slip on the way to the bathroom. Yeah, I mean, when you're posh like my guy, I mean, when you're VIP, you get it all. But but go ahead, my bad. Yeah, they didn't show any of those guys on the jumbotron.
I don't know all the former boxers. I'm like, is there any star power out here? But
Aaron Rodgers was there.
Really? He was. I see him.
Aaron Rodgers is old ass, so he was there.
Okay. I see him. Well, they blew an opportunity. By the way, maybe they showed it on the broadcast and we didn't see it.
He agrees with you. Jorge agreed with you. He said, agreed. I don't think it happens. Money's what matters. But he said, for real though, MMA is way better than boxing. Boxing's rigged.
I'm glad Jorge agrees with me.
But did your perception of either one of these boxers change from what you had going into the fight, Emmanuel?
Not really. I mean, we knew Devin didn't have hands, and we knew that Ryan had a good left hook. So yeah, I guess like if anything changed, it's like the way that Ryan like promoted the fight. I guess like we gotta like look at everything he does with a grain of salt now, and like don't take it like as serious. Like, oh, is he trying to sell the fighters? Does he like actually need help? So yeah, I guess like next time we see him like promote a fight, then we just gotta like take it for what it is. Like don't like try to create our own narrative.
Well, that's my thing too. I think it's gonna be hard, Gilbert, to sell this rematch. I
Rematch?
mean, because Bill was the one that sold it on the Haney side. To be, if we're being completely honest,
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
And Ryan sold it on his side as well. But it's like, okay, what are you gonna sell me on that? Like, what am I gonna see that's different here? If Ryan has to make weight, okay, but what am I really gonna get? Like your son, like in one of those, and Gilbert pointed it out to me, like he had Ryan in the corner and he was hitting him like in the kidneys, but you could tell Ryan was not. And then Ryan even kind of stood up and kind of shook his head, like, yeah, that's nothing. So that's the thing. I don't know what they're gonna be able to sell me on for this next fight.
The weight, I think, Fernando, and if Ryan goes, you know what? Here's I'll lay it out for you guys. If Ryan Garcia takes like a tune-up bout at 147 and he looks good at welterweight, Devin, it's on you. You're not a small dude. Go up and wait. Obviously, you have no power to translate. Hey, you want to be compared to Floyd Mayweather? I think we overrated Devin and we underrated Ryan Garcia. And if you got the skills and the defense, because there was no defense I saw out there, maybe the mind games worked on him. But if Devin goes and reinvents himself as a true defensive fighter, and who cares if people call you boring, and you're at 147, let your dad do the barking. If Devin takes a fight at 147 and he looks legit, are you now intrigued, Emmanuel, at 147 and have these guys in a bigger weight class?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think like the weight for sure like is like a big selling thing because like you see like one side of it, you go from there. So
yeah, no, I feel it. Delbert says, "Good morning, Compas. Ryan's antics really had me concerned, but congrats to him for pulling it out. Screw the strap, he made the money." Emmanuel, what did you make of that? That Ryan put $2 million on himself and he ended up winning 12. I think he said
Is that allowed?
He ended up winning 50 million. The whole he made 50 million off of this fight with the money that he put the bet on. But what did you make of that, Emmanuel?
Nah, it's crazy. Yeah, like he someone was saying that like during when he made that bet, like his dad was like in the corner saying like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So
Yeah,
like he knew he wasn't gonna make weight. So like the fact that he like made that bet was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that was so
man,
you think go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, before we let you go, what was your coverage of this fight? You know, what did you do for New York Times or anything you want to promote?
I'm doing a story later this year about the boxing economics with streaming and all of that. So wanted to go there and check it out, see like the sourcing and things like that.
So like with the Zone data as a streaming provider for boxing.
Yeah, because like Showtime and HBO have like gone out of boxing. It's like now it's like all streaming. So go do a story about that later this year.
That's a good idea. That's a good story. Can't wait.
Oh, Emmanuel's going to be in Dallas for Tyson versus Jake Paul. I can already see
We'll
Netflix
see.
streaming boxing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a one-off. Yeah, I doubt next week we'll do it.
I kind of was hoping they would. That'd be kind of cool. But
Yeah,
right.
it be as a one-off probably.
Well, that is Emmanuel Morgan from the New York Times. Emmanuel, thank you so much for jumping on with us. I told you, hey, Saturday you asked me. I told you we will deliver. We appreciate you. We love you. We loved hanging out with you. Hopefully, when you come to LA, you don't big time us and you actually hit us up. So
I always hit you up when I'm in LA. What are you talking about?
That's what he says, but he never does.
He took us to a good pasta place. I'm still thinking about that pasta, man.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
I know.
I told you.
I know. No, it was awesome. But Emmanuel, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, and we appreciate you, man.
Sir.
That's our guy, Emmanuel Morgan. It's always fun having him on to talk boxing and everything else.
Good host in New York too. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. Sebastian also was awesome. But as one compa leaves, one compa comes in, and now we have to go to our guest of honor, Mr. Tyler Dragon from the USA Today. Covers all things.
I like
NFL.
the hat, Tyler.
Covers,
I know. We matched today. That's what's up.
He does track and field as well.
I got too hyped. Sorry for that. Do a proper pro. I'm sorry. I got too hyped for Tyler.
Jesus, you just killed my vibe. But yeah, Emmanuel, Jesus, Gilbert,
Sorry
you screwed me up.
We had Emmanuel right now.
We had Emmanuel Morgan on right now talking boxing.
Nice.
Well, what did you make of the fight, by the way, Tyler?
Yeah, why not?
The box. I did not watch it actually.
Okay.
So this weekend, my wife and I celebrate our anniversary. So I had a good excuse
How many
not
years?
to watch the boxing match.
3 years now?
1 year.
1 year. My bad.
1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, not 3 years.
Okay.
1 year.
Well, hey,
Yes.
congratulations, 1 year. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Jorge's excited to see you. Says Tyler
Yeah.
Dragon. You put a little dragon emoji, so he's excited to.
How you doing, Jorge?
To talk with us, but all right, Gilbert, go ahead, take it away. Gilbert, I'll be back in 1 second.
All right, that's fine. Then I'll talk to Tyler.
I'll be back.
Tyler, I think you, there you go. I think you got the rundown of the questions we're going to ask you, because we're going to start with the LA teams. We got LA hats right here. So
I love the matching LA hats.
There you go. We're perfect. So I'm gonna start with the Rams, and whenever Fernando comes back, he's gonna ask you about the Chargers. So Rams pick at number 19, first round pick for the first time since 2016, right? Jared Goff, number 1 pick. I guess I'll start with that. You think they keep the pick? And then if they do, what do they go to replace Aaron Donald? Maybe a Byron Murphy, the second from Texas. Maybe they keep adding to the secondary. Maybe they go offense because Sean McVay hasn't had a first round pick in the LA era. So what do you kind of expect from the Rams there?
Yeah, for the Rams' sake and their fans' sake, I certainly hope they keep the pick. As you just said, they haven't had a first-round pick since Jared Goff in 2016. I actually interviewed Jared Goff last week.
Oh,
and he was even surprised that he was the last Rams first-round pick. So I would expect them to finally break the streak and draft in the first round. And I really do like Murphy. The Rams certainly need a defensive tackle to fill the void left by Aaron Donald. And really, the Rams defense was built around Aaron Donald and his disruptiveness in the interior. And without him, that is a huge void, especially the Rams don't have a lot of productive edge rushers, I should say, because they were all dependent on Aaron Donald and how he was able to create havoc up the middle and the interior. So I do expect the Rams to address that need early on in the draft, and I would not be surprised if they did it as early as round 1. And if I was the GM, if I was Les Snead, I would definitely pick a defensive tackle in round 1.
You know the conversation. People always say it's either like tight end or defensive tackle. You don't draft those guys very high. Well, Aaron Donald was number 13, and it worked out pretty well. So I like that.
I remember the Rams got crapped on when they selected him. People were like, I don't know.
They got Cam Robinson number 2, but that's a different story. But and then I guess if you pair him with Kobe Turner, I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me, especially you got to build that defense because they focus on the secondary and in free agency. You got Cam Curl, Darius Williams, and they got Tre'Davious White. So they seem okay. I think maybe get a little younger doesn't hurt either. But you can rely on a Kobe Durant and guys like that. But how about edge rusher? Like I know you mentioned these guys create a push and they can help you out, but Byron Young was okay. Michael hasn't really worked out. What if you get like a Latu from UCLA, or maybe one of the guys like I don't think Dallas Turner will drop, but maybe like a Jared Verse or Chop Robinson? Do you think that could be another alternate route for them for the Rams?
So I have Dallas Turner being in the top 10. I would not be surprised if we went 8 to Atlanta Falcons. Latu's, that's a huge question mark. To me, he might be in the teens, maybe as early as 13, 14, maybe even 15. If you drop to the Rams, I would like that addition, but that still leaves a massive void in the interior. But it would not be a bad pick. Latu, of course, UCLA product. I love my Bruins. Latu was one of the best players in that team last year. So he would be a good pick for the LA Rams, especially because to me, I get as long as they pick somebody that can rush the passer, whether that's in the interior or on the outside at edge rusher, I think it's a good pick because that's really the weakness of their defense. And it really was the weakness of their defense last year with Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was getting double teamed, sometimes triple teamed, and there was no beneficiary on the Rams defense. And that was a huge, huge problem. And it's really been a problem since the departure of Leonard Floyd and Von Miller from the Rams.
Jorge is asking what's going on with Latu's medical. Do you know anything about that, Tyler?
Yeah, he has an extensive injury history. He was at Washington prior to transferring UCLA, and he has some neck concerns. And really, his football career was deemed to be over. But he got a medical pass from UCLA, and UCLA played him, and he really blossomed on Westwood with the Bruins and created himself into a first-round pick prospect. But his injury concerns, those are real. But that's the thing about the NFL Combine and these 30 for 30 visits. You get with teams' medical staffs, you get with their doctors, and they really examine these players thoroughly. So teams have to be very comfortable with players like Latu, players like Michael Penix Jr., players with extensive injury histories before they draft them. So it's up to them to do their due diligence. But I'm hearing that teams are fine with his previous medical history because he checks out well now.
Real quick, Delbert says, I hope the Rams build a defense as Shula envisions a system. His start of his tenure is key. That's very true. Gilbert, I know I'm supposed to ask Tyler about the Chargers. That's what we had agreed on. That's not what I'm going to be doing. I want to ask about the team before.
All right.
Because Tyler's been poking at me the last time I saw him. We were kind of going back and forth, but we were talking about what the Cardinals are going to do. And I told Tyler, look, I think they're going to trade out. I think somebody's going to make them an offer they can't refuse, and they're going to take it. And he tells me Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting right there, they're not going to pass on him. Tyler, it has been 2 weeks since we last had that conversation. What is your feeling on what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do?
So it's funny, Fernando. I have a friend who covers the Cardinals, and I literally, you and him, I send you guys the exact same text, but I just changed teams. I changed it to Cardinals for him and Chargers for you. I should put you two in a group text. His name is Tyler Drake, by the way. Shout out to him.
We'll have him on the show one day, talk Cardinals.
Yeah, so he is of the belief that the Cardinals keep the pick.
Okay.
And trade their pick. I think they have the 26th pick, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the 20s. Yeah, it's in the 20s. Yeah. He's of the mindset the Cardinals keep the number 4 pick, and then they trade that pick in the late 20s and their second round or third round pick to move up again in the first round.
To get a quarterback.
Yeah, well, no, not a quarterback. To get somebody on the defensive side of the football, maybe get another address the offensive line some more. Or get, another, edge rusher because the Cardinals need edge rushing help, maybe Latu. So I kind of like his idea because when I look at the Cardinals receiving corps, they're worse than the Chargers.
Yeah,
they are by far, and there's not many receiving corps worse than the LA Chargers, but the Cardinals, they are. So if you add Marvin Harrison Jr. to that mix, they got something going. They got he's easily their best receiver. They still need maybe a number 2, maybe even number 3 type of wideout, but they have something to work with, something to build on, and somebody for Kyler Murray to throw the football to. So if it were me, I would not trade that pick. I would not trade that pick if I'm the Cardinals. But if they do trade the pick for a quarterback needy team, if I'm Joe Ortiz and the Chargers, I am running to the board to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
I got an answer for you real quick, Tyler, about the worst receiving corps in the NFL. How about the Patriots? Can they take Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3?
There you go.
The Patriots are pretty bad too, but I would still rather have their receiving corps over the Cardinals.
All right.
At least you have Juju Smith.
Yeah. If he can still play, I don't know. I'm not even sure. I don't know. But yeah, they're both bad.
Oh, you know what? Jorge has a good one for you. Would Quentin Johnson be the Cardinals' number 1 receiver?
Hey, Michael Wilson.
Yeah, I think so. That's how bad it is. Now, Quentin Johnson can catch the ball. But if Quentin Johnson in his role as running shallow routes, maybe some jet sweeps, slants, those are digs. Those are type of routes that he's comfortable with. The Chargers put him in the Mike Williams role, and that's not his expertise. He can't
at all,
especially as a rookie. He's not a tracker of the football. Now he can develop into that role, but he's the type of receiver that needs to see the ball in his hands. Like you have to throw the ball when he's facing the ball. Exactly. And that's unfortunate for a receiver of his caliber, an NFL receiver, but his rookie year displayed that.
He said it's bad. They're staying and drafting Harrison. Tyler, and then obviously going off of that though, see, this is my question. Because there's been rumors that have come out that Larry Fitzgerald was not happy with Kyler Murray and all that stuff in the past. Does Marvin Harrison Sr. get on the phone and ask him, Larry, what? Tell me about this kid. Do I want my son down there playing with him? That's my question, because I mean, we all know Marvin Harrison Sr. He's a real one. So I mean, that's my question. Like, that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, would Marvin Harrison Sr. and Jr. in the back say, Cardinals, we don't want to play for you guys, but doing it quietly, obviously, and be like, pass on us. We're good. Go do something else. So that's kind of my thing, because I remember Larry and him did not get along, and there's been a lot. Man, Larry's a likable guy. We all know Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Larry's a guy that gets along with everybody. So that's kind of my. And then there's also question marks about Kyler's dedication and everything. So I don't know. I just don't see, because we all know Marvin Harrison Sr. played with one of the most ready quarterbacks of all time. He knows what it's like to play with a guy like that. So that's kind of where my headspace has been at the last 3 weeks, when I wonder what the Cardinals are going to do with that pick. So I don't know. Maybe I'm off.
So he did take a 30 for 30 visit over there.
Yeah.
And he could have turned that down.
Two, right? Chicago and
that we know of. But he could have turned that down. And to me, I get what you're saying. And if I was Marvin Harrison Jr. and especially his dad, I would want to go to the Chargers. You have Justin Herbert, and you have a ready-made quarterback, and you have Jim Harbaugh, coach who you know from playing at Ohio State, playing against him. But the Cardinals aren't all that bad either. They just don't have a really good roster around Kyler Murray and maybe even a Marvin Harrison Jr. They have their defense is sub-mediocre. They have a very new coaching regime that's still learning the ropes. But it's still a growing franchise, and I do think they're on the up and up. And you look around the Phoenix area, the Tempe area, it's like Marvin Harrison mania over there. They really do want him. So if they put a card in and it's somebody other than him, those fans, they're probably going to boo at their Cardinals draft party, because they really want Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, if
it's
they
like in the movie
down,
Draft
they're
Day.
even going to boo. Yeah.
It's like in the movie Draft Day, when the guy was not going to get the quarterback, the Seahawks guy, people were like, hey, with pitchforks and stuff outside of the building. No, I completely understand that. I was just, I mean, and that's kind of my thing, because I feel like Marvin Harrison Sr. would do something like that, like where he'd be like, hey, I don't know. But no, I completely understand.
Marvin Harrison Sr., right? You listen to what he got.
I'm just saying, like, he's a real one for a reason. Like, I've heard some stories, and I'm just saying, like, yeah, you better listen to what he has to say. But
touche.
Yeah, exactly. This is the last one for me. Well, last one for right now, and then Gilbert can go. So okay, let's just say Marvin Harrison Jr. is off the board. What do you think? You are Joe Ortiz. I was gonna say Alt. You're Joe Ortiz and you're Jim Harbaugh. What are you doing if Marvin Harrison Jr. is off the board and it's been 3 quarterbacks? The phone rings. It's Minnesota saying, "Hey, we'll give you 11 and 23, and maybe a first next year, or maybe a second round or something like that." What are you kind of doing right there?
If Minnesota offers 11, 23 and a first next year, I'm probably taking that trade. I'm going to surprise you with that, but it has to be 3 first-round picks.
Wow.
Now,
he said he wants to be blown away by it.
Yeah, you got to be blown away by it, because to me, the Chargers, like we just said, they don't really have a number 1 or maybe even number 2 receiver. Josh Palmer, is he a number 2? I think he's a really good number 3. He's a number 2, a decent number 2, but you probably want him at best at.
He's a number 2 when you have a Keenan Allen who can play in the slot and can do what he does. Yes, but
exactly.
No, but in the figuratively, he's a number 3.
Now the thing is, so the question is, Adunze, Neighbors, if they're on the board, or Joe Alt. Those are like 3 players, or trade down. Now, I'm almost I'm the Neighbors question. This is gonna surprise you, because I was purely on the Neighbors bandwagon a few weeks ago.
He's not on it anymore.
But I'm still on it. But when I look at
one foot off the car,
the way Neighbors plays, he's a better Quentin Johnston. He runs the same type of routes as Quentin Johnston. He's quicker, more agile, but he's kind of like a slot. Is he a true X receiver? That's what the Chargers need, is an X receiver. Can you put him on the outside and say, okay, run this post, run this curl, run this dig? I'm not sure that's his game yet. Is he a refined route runner? Now, he's one of the most athletic physical freaks in the draft, especially at receiver. But can you refine that and be an exceptional route runner? Because there's a whole bunch of physical athletic freaks in the NFL. So then Odunze, on the other hand, he's an X receiver, but he doesn't separate at the same level as Neighbors and Harrison. So that's the question where I'm asking, I'm going back and forth. Now, if the Vikings only offer 2 first-round picks, I'm taking probably Neighbors, even though I don't truly believe he's that prototypical X receiver. You might be able to, I'm just banking on the fact that he can blossom into one. And then I'm just praying that my receiving corps works out because I have a quarterback like Justin Herbert, but it's a big if. It's a big if. I would not have traded Keenan Allen to the Bears, to be quite frank, but hey, they don't pay me the big bucks to make the decisions.
Hey, but you're teaching us a thing or two here.
I was gonna say you're describing him Odunze like a Keenan Allen, like maybe you kind of want.
Well,
that
no,
right?
Odunze is like a Larry Fitzgerald to me.
Oh wow, okay.
Odunze is an X receiver, kind of a big body receiver, can bully you, is still fast, still athletic, but he doesn't separate like the other guys and like the Marvin Harrison, like the Neighbors in this draft, because he's not as quick and he's like a kind of a bully as a receiver, but he's an athlete too. And so when I see him, when I saw him at Washington, when I see tape of him, I see a receiver that kind of is like a Larry Fitzgerald, kind of like a Hines Ward, but a better athlete at this point. I won't say better athlete than Larry Fitzgerald, because Larry Fitzgerald was a really good athlete at the start of his career. Yeah. But when I see Neighbors, I kind of see like another Quentin Johnson, but with hands that can catch better.
Doesn't sound as good.
Actually, he's probably, I would say, a Jamar Chase type, because is Jamar Chase a true X receiver? Like, I don't know if he's a true X receiver, but he's the number one option, and he can play on the outside, but he can play on the inside too. And the Bengals make it work because they have Joe Burrow, and their connection is one of the best connections in all football. But that's what the Chargers, I believe that they're missing a true guy on the outside that can go beat you any given Sunday.
So my bad, real quick, Gilbert. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is like Marvin Harrison Sr. Odunze is like Larry Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
And then Neighbors is more like a Jamar Chase kind of.
A Jamar Chase. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, okay. Did you think that Odell was a true X? Or was he more of this style? So it's an LSU thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we'll see. Brian Thomas I believe he's an X, but he's only ran like 4 or 5 routes at LSU.
Yeah. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to basically teach these guys how to do all that stuff. Gilbert, sorry, go ahead.
No, this is high praise for his wide receivers. So, like you mentioned, Tal, it better be a good offer. You're gonna trade back from number 5, 3 first-round picks sounds right. So, say they do trade down to maybe 11 with the Vikings. Like, what do you see at that point? Like, is Brock Bowers, like, people would describe him like a legit number 1 wide receiver, but he plays tight end. Do you like a Brock Bowers? Maybe they go Bowers at 11, and then they get 23. They go get Brian Thomas Jr., like you mentioned. I don't know about the Chargers doing that. That'd be pretty nice. But when you say Larry Fitzgerald comparisons and then Mark Harrison Sr., that's hard to do. But if they go to 11 with the Vikings, what do you see the Chargers?
He has questions about Brian Thomas. I just saw it in his face now.
So if the Chargers do trade down and go to 11, I'm not doing Brock Bowers. The Chargers, they signed 2 tight ends this offseason. Yeah. This isn't Los Angeles tight ends. You can't just keep on adding to the tight end room. I feel like that they go tackle at 11 if they end up trading down. And then at 23, I would probably go with Mitchell, the receiver out of Texas.
Wow.
And so you would hope that he can turn into your number 1 receiver. To me, he's not as good of a prospect as the other 3 wideouts, but he's probably 4 or 5 along with Brian Thomas.
NFL.com has his comparison as
Who?
Shoot, where is it?
Mitchell?
George Pickens.
Yeah, and see, that's the number one option in Pittsburgh. And George Pickens is a good receiver with pretty much nobody throwing him the football for the past few years.
Gilbert, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Tyler, I'm really, I don't believe this. So I'll just say I'll give you my opinion right here. But do you think you don't believe in this either, because you've got Marvin Harrison Jr. going number 4. But I guess for you're talking for people around the league, 4 quarterbacks out the gate, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy. Do you see that, or what do you see McCarthy falling? Is it Drake May that slides? Usually one of these guys tends to slide in the draft.
I could see 4 quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, 4. It's never happened in NFL history, but it would not shock me if it did happen. But to me, I feel like the Cardinals are going to keep that pick, because when I look at their roster, they have a glaring need at wide receiver. The quarterback that falls to me, man, is JJ McCarthy going in the top 10 falling? I guess you can say that. I just did mock draft today, and I have Michael Penix Jr. going 13 to the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's not far. I have as many as 6 quarterbacks going in the first round, which would tie.
Where'd you have Bo Nix going?
Where did I have Bo Nix going? I think the Broncos. I think I had the Broncos trading up again in the first round, even though they barely have any picks to get the quarterback. And
they got a new quarterback today, by the way.
They do, but
no,
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I called him the Manhattan MILF Hunter, and now I call him the Miles City High MILF Hunter. So there you go. He's getting So he's gonna go kill it in Denver. I'm pretty sure he's close.
Hey, maybe he can stay in Russell Wilson and Sierra's old house.
There you go.
I don't know if he can afford that damn house. Yeah, I don't know if he can afford that house.
He can't afford it. All right.
Okay. I don't even know if he can afford the pool house in the back. Like,
it's a rookie contract still. That's why.
That's true. That's true. It is a rookie contract. He ain't making Russell Wilson type money.
Not yet, though.
Get out of here.
Yeah, not yet. Keep hope alive, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, when you're looking at the draft, because I expect kind of madness. Like, I kind of did a mock draft the other day, and I showed it to Gilbert. I had San Francisco jumping up to 20, not jumping up. They traded Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers for number 20, and they came up and drafted a receiver. Do you think we'll get anything like that? Any massive trades? Anything that you're going to get, like something that you're going to be like, oh my God, like a couple of years ago, we got AJ Green getting traded
Brown
to the Tennessee Titans. I remember Vrabel was pissed. I heard he had to hit the gym that night because he was so angry. But what do you think? Do you think anything like that happens?
Well, Brandon Ayuk is a hot name, but that I would have to call John Lynch a liar, because he just said today that the team wants to keep Brandon Ayuk for the long haul for the rest of his career. Now, to keep the theme of this show, I would love if the Chargers said the Vikings, I don't want number 11. I want 23 and Justin Jefferson.
This guy.
Hey, you said something. You said something big. So you don't even have to give me a future first round pick. 23 and Justin Jefferson.
But you just got rid of Keenan, who made and obviously it's completely different. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Keenan and Justin are completely different. Two different stuff. Do you think Justin fits in that mold of those guys of Odell, Jamar? Like, is he like that? He seems more like a traditional X to me.
Yeah, well, see, the thing with Justin, he can play in the slot and on the outside. But he's arguably the best receiver in the NFL. Apples and oranges, Tyreek Hill.
I'm sure Herbert would go pick him up at the airport. But I just don't know if they're gonna, like, in a sense, kind of blow their whole cap. Not their whole cap, but like what they have remaining on them. I mean, hell, I think Justin and Justin. I mean, that the publicity sells itself when it comes to those two guys. And then on top of that, Jim Harbaugh, like, I mean, that's killer. But I just don't know.
You said say something that blows you away. Didn't I just say something that blows you away?
Doesn't believe it.
Yeah, my bad. I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, that's actually pretty interesting right there.
Mm-hmm. And hey, I think it fits for both sides. If the Vikings, you get to keep some of your draft capital. And you're starting over, essentially, if you're the Vikings. And you're starting. You already have what, Jordan Addison at receiver, and you can probably build through another receiver maybe next year's draft or later in the second round, because this is a deep draft class, and the Chargers get what they want. I need more superstars here in LA. So when I go to Rams and Chargers games, it's more interesting.
This year the Rams have a better schedule, like a better home schedule. Like last year, the Chargers had the really good home schedule where a lot of really good teams came in and fun teams. Now this year, it's the Rams that have the fun schedule coming in and all that. So, but my bad. Go ahead, Gilbert.
Tyler, you mentioned, John Lynch saying they're going to keep Brandon Ayuk, but I wonder how they're going to make it all work. Obviously, you can move around money, salary cap doesn't really matter. But you think maybe they traded Deebo Samuel to make Ayuk the number one feature? Because I feel like he gets hurt a lot. It's hard to give him the ball, but I get that him being so versatile and explosive separates his offense from everybody else, and it gives Kyle Shanahan more pieces to work with, all the creativity, all that. But to me, I feel like Ayuk is better. What's going on with Deebo? You feel like, could it be an option?
So it depends how you define better, because Deebo, he's better at getting yak yards. And when you can line up Deebo anywhere in the football field, you can even hand him the football, and he could be an explosive playmaker. In a pinch, you can probably have Deebo as a punt returner if you really need So it depends. Like, Deebo can do more. Now, as a pure receiver, as a pure route runner, if you're telling me, go beat this cornerback one-on-one, we need 10 yards. Ayuk is better at that. Correct. But more valuable to the 49ers and the heart and soul probably the 49ers offense is probably Deebo. Now, if I'm the 49ers, I try to massage Brandon Ayuk for this season and hope he, stays on the straight and narrow and be cool. I just started. I mean, come on, Fernando. You know what I mean.
I don't
massage his ego.
We're not thinking about Cleveland for some reason.
Yeah. Your mind's going way elsewhere now. What is this? This is Friday.
Deebo. Exactly.
You don't trade Deebo, I guess.
Oh wow, that's my favorite movie, by the way. So
that's one of the greatest movies ever. I love that movie.
Nice. So yeah, I try to tell Brandon Ayuk, we're not going to pay you this year, but next year we're going to take care of you. And the 49ers, they have a lot of decisions to make, not this season, but next season. Brock Purdy, they got Fred Warner coming up. They got a lot of really good players that they either need to pay, need to cut, and do something with. So this season needs to be there. Figure out, okay, we're going to go for broke here. And try to win a Super Bowl. And the next year, we're going to try to figure it out. We got to get in the war room, our brass, and figure out which players are essential to our success. We already know we got to probably keep Brock Purdy, and we got to pay him. So are we going to pay two receivers? We've proven last year and years before that paying two receivers is probably not a winning formula. The Bengals are finding out the hard way right now because T. Higgins is disgruntled, and next year he's going to be out the door probably for free.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
I would trade T. Higgins for a top 10 pick to one of those teams for a top 10 pick and draft Romeo Odunze for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Is T. Higgins worth a top 10 pick? You got him in the second round.
Oh, no, my bad. Okay, my bad. I'll trade my pick, my first round draft pick with him, and I would try and move up in the draft. And maybe trade some other picks, whatever. I would just try and get in that top 10, and I would get Romeo Odunze. He's cheaper. Like you said, he's an X. He's a guy that could do some stuff. And, I mean, T. Higgins, you're not going to pay him. Let's be honest. You haven't even paid Jamar Chase. No. They haven't paid him yet.
They are going to pay him, but they haven't.
Exactly. They haven't paid him yet. So I would just get T. Higgins out of here. Like, I would be like, all right, T. Higgins, it's been real, but screw you, Gilbert, for putting that one on.
And you would ask for a top 10 pick for T. Higgins?
Not for T. Higgins, just T. Higgins, but another first round draft pick, and then possibly like a 2 next year or whatever. And I try and jump on there and get like the 10th pick or the 9th pick or something like that. So yeah, I would do something like that. You get a young receiver for cheap while you're paying Jamar Chase. And then once Jamar Chase, you see what you have in the next 4 or 5 years, whatever, however long you have control of them. Because I've seen a lot of teams start doing that 3-year deal now, where they extend them for 3 years or for 3 years or whatever. So I mean, why are you gonna, like you said, why are you gonna let him walk for free? Why don't you get something out of him? Somebody like New England, well, New England's not going to give up the 3rd overall pick for T. Higgins, but I mean, like, some team is going to be like, you know what? Why not do it? So we need receiver. The Giants, hell, they need a receiver. Why? Well, and
need a quarterback too.
Well, man, yeah. I remember when you got all that hate, Gilbert, and you predicted that he was going to make $40 million a year, and people got pissed at you, and they said, "What do you know?" But yeah, my bad. But I don't know what that's kind of my wow or something like that. But I agree with Gilbert. Also, on the sense of Deebo Samuel, that's another thing that you need to see, because Deebo's always getting hurt towards the end of the year, and he's always missing games. I know his style is kind of like he plays like a pinball. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen there. Nancy's laughing at the Broncos trading for Zach Wilson. That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm sure you're not the only one, Nancy, that's laughing at that. But
hilarious.
But I don't know. That's just mine. I don't know.
I mean, that's
I didn't blow.
Nobody likes it.
That one.
But I mean, that's a good one. I'm hearing the Bengals really like Brock Bowers, and they like J.C. Latham, but I'm not sure that they're going to fall to, I believe, the Bengals draft 19.
Do you think do you think he makes it past the Jets?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think either of them make it to where the Bengals pick, which is 19, I believe.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying you package up 19 with T. Higgins, and then you try and jump up to the top 10.
No, that's giving up too much, because T. Higgins might be more productive this season than any of those players. So Dunze or Brock, especially Brock Bowers. Now, maybe a Dunze. I mean, maybe you're trading for the future, but yeah, I don't think so, because you can still get a receiver, a pretty good receiver at number 18, where the Bengals are at.
All right, Tyler, I got one more question, and we'll get you out of here. We appreciate the time. But I'm curious about the number 2 quarterback debate. Obviously, Caleb Williams out of USC is number 1. A lot of love for Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from LSU. To me, I will bet on the elite traits that Drake May has. He hasn't put it together in college football, but Josh Allen, Herbert, guys like that, they figure it out after a while. Who's number 2 quarterback for you right now?
Jaden Daniels is pretty much not close. I don't even have Drake May in my top 3.
Really?
I have Michael Penix at 3, and then Drake May, and then JJ McCarthy. Now, I think Drake May, yes, he has the physical traits. A lot of people say he's kind of like a Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, but he had a lot of turnovers. I think his feet work aren't all that polished yet. And then when I look at him, I feel like him in the nation's capital, you already just let go of a UNC quarterback who's really good friends with him, and they need a whole new fresh start. And then especially when I look at how the offense is going to run, Cliff Kingsbury is the OC. You have Jaden Daniels, who's a mobile type quarterback, can play similar styles as Kyler Murray. I really do like him with the Washington Commanders, so I do think he's going to be a number 2 overall pick.
What have you made of the noise of everything that's been going on with that? Supposedly he didn't like because I saw that supposedly they had a speed date like lined up where they brought in like 20 prospects. They took them out to Top Golf, to dinner, all that crap. They wined and dined them. But what did you make? Like, do you feel like that noise is legit or no?
This is a whole lot of smoke because the Raiders want Jaden Daniels. I can tell you that right now. Antonio Pierce recruited Jaden Daniels to Arizona State, and the Raiders would love to draft him. They know they can't probably get up to 2. They probably can't get up to 3. They might be able to get in the top 5, maybe, but they want Jaden Daniels. And it's pretty much not a secret. They've told a lot of people behind closed doors. However, it's likely not going to happen because they're sitting there at 13 and they don't have the ammunition to get up to inside that top 3. But that's pretty much where it's coming from.
Last one for me, and then we'll let you go. Dak Prescott. What do you think happens with the Cowboys? I have to ask you a Cowboys question before you leave. They have to pay Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was taking body shots with a damn boxer the other day. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, how are you doing that? I don't know if you saw that video, Tyler.
I did not see the video, but it sounds like Micah Parsons.
Yeah. So so you have Micah Parsons, you have CD Lamb, you have those guys. Like, I guess my question is, what do you think ends up happening with those guys? And Tyler, just to show you, I am a great friend. I have the video pulled up for you. This is what happened right here. Look at this. Watch this. Oh, I don't want to get copyrighted. Look at this. Oof.
What if he broke a rib right there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that guy was not phased. That never judge a book by its cover, folks. Look, Micah punches him. The guy's like, okay, whatever. This guy. Then the little guy just goes bang, and look at Micah. Micah was not ready for that. So, but yeah, I think that's idiotic that he did that. But whatever. I'm not the GM of. Well, nobody's a GM of the Cowboys except for Jerry Jones. But what do you think happens there? Do you think they let Dak walk? Do they sign the other the young kids? What do you make of that?
This is a very tough question because the Cowboys have put themselves in a very peculiar predicament because Dak Prescott, if you sign him right now and give him an extension, he actually won't count against your salary cap as much as he counts right now. Right now, he absorbs like over $60 million or something. Now, I believe once it's all said and done, the Cowboys extend Dak probably next year. It's not going to happen this year, though. And somebody's going to have to take a team-friendly deal, whether it's CD or Micah Parsons. They're going to be – I know. The salary cap's going to go up next year, so that's a positive news for the Cowboys' sake. But somebody's going to have to take a team-friendly deal. And it may be Dak. It may be Dak because sometimes quarterbacks do it. Patrick Mahomes has a team-friendly deal, even though it doesn't look like it on paper when you see that $500 million. But
he just re-ups every 2 years. That's what I was telling Gilbert. That's the way they're going to play it. They're just going to re-up him every 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean, so when I do think he stays in Dallas because they don't have an insurance plan. I mean, Lynch. I mean.
No, they have a former number 3 overall pick.
Come on, man. Come on. I mean, unless Trey Lance improves dramatically and surprises us all, I just don't see it happening. To me, they have to take care of their 3 players because if you don't take care of the 3 of them, the Cowboys, they're going to be rebuilding because those are their 3 pillars. And easily their 3 most indispensable players when you look at their entire roster. You can't lose Micah Parsons because then your defense probably goes to below average. And if you don't have Dak, who's throwing the football? And Micah Parsons is clearly your number 1 receiver because you just lost your number 2.
You fire Mike McCarthy. You draft Shedeur Sanders.
All right, let's get out of here.
Deion Sanders as the head coach next year.
Hey, I would love that. That'll create headlines.
You see that?
I would love that. That would create headlines. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, but I would love that.
All right. Tyler, am I going to see you on Thursday?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All right. He's going to be there at Chargers. I'm trying to get Gilbert to come, but I don't think he's going to make it. So
I'm comfortable.
The Rams have a first-round pick. You got to be at the Rams. Are the Rams doing the Rams house?
I think they are. I'm not really sure. I don't know where
That's
it will be.
That's a fun time.
Yeah.
They're going to trade out.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yes. Why would I go Thursday? They're going to trade out.
But Tyler, thank you so much for jumping on. We love you, Tyler. We'll see you later. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday. Tyler, you're the man. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Gilbert, any final thoughts before we head out of here?
No, this is actually a fun show. We covered it all: boxing and NFL draft. 2 guests, too. It's probably been one of our best lives. We'll do it live again tomorrow with 2 guests, so it's pretty cool.
I can't say it was our best one because if there's no Dan and Dago, I'm contractually obligated.
Sure. All right, it got better. He just told me it got better, so yeah, so I'm good. Let's get out of here before he even pops up with it breaking the glass music.
All right, for real. All right, that was a fun show. Again, guys, don't forget, tomorrow we will not change it up on Nancy, Jorge, Delbert, all you guys. Make sure you guys tune in at 4 o'clock We will Fernando speaking facts. We will have the show tomorrow at 4:00. We have special guests, so make sure you guys tune in. Don't miss it. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to Tyler Dragon. Thank you to Emmanuel Morgan. But for the time being, Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Yeah, on that note, check out everything we're doing at Compas on the Beat. Subscribe, Telecompa, or be a Compa Telecompa. Yes, don't forget about the merch. Nancy, thank you. We really appreciate that. The newsletter, check out the newsletter. We've been doing a lot of stuff on the newsletter. So you go to compasonthebeat.com, look for the shiny gold box on the home screen, type in your email, you're subscribed. If you did it already, please tell a friend about it. And then also the link in the description for the compasonthebeat.com. So the newsletter, the merch, the lives, we got it all covered here. So we appreciate everybody's support. And yes, tomorrow we'll be back on at proper time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Yeah, we got people on the East Coast because we're compas on the East Coast. But on that note, ya nos vamos, pues, vámonos.